Welcome to the Twighlight Lounge, where we have boom mics.
Boom!
And where it is at least 10 degrees cooler than it was last week.
It's because you're here.
This is good for the Jews. We are the Jews, and according to an ADL poll that we'll talk about later, some people think we make up 20% of the population of the world.
20%?
That's right.
Right on, that's good for the Jews.
You know why? It's because we rule.
It's because we're high profile.
Yes, I am Larry Rosen, and I might have a warrant out for my arrest in San Luis Obispo County. I just realized earlier today I was looking through my stuff, looking for my wallet on my night table, and I came across a speeding ticket I got in January driving through San Luis Obispo County.
You're a badass.
And I looked at it, and it was like, by signing above, you have agreed to appear in court on March 5th in San Luis Obispo. I don't remember that conversation happening. I remember it being a very nice, non-adversarial conversation with the cop. I was just like, yep, you got me. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get home. He's like, yeah, I know, but you were going kind of fast, so I got to give you this ticket. I'll just give you 70 and a 55. I think I was probably going 80. Son, if you're listening, that's not true. I was going 60 in the 55, and he was just a bad cop. No. But anyways, I remember it being nice, but I don't remember him saying, you need to come back here and go to court. I remember thinking, oh, I'll get something in the mail and I'll pay it. Never got anything in the mail. No,
I think the way it's supposed to work is you have the option. You either pay it, no contest, you pay it.
Right, which is what I would do.
Right, or you go to court if you want to negotiate.
Traffic school or something.
Right, or you want to fight it or whatever.
But I never heard.
You don't have to appear.
No.
But it should say all that on the ticket, and they're definitely not going to send you another
notice.
The citation's the notice. The cop pulls you over, gives you the ticket.
Next time in San Luis Obispo, if I get pulled over, they'll just cuff me and take me off with all the other miscreants.
State of California, San Luis Obispo.
So I could get anywhere. Yeah, they're like, I see there's a warrant, so I better be careful.
Why don't you just pay the ticket?
Well, now that I found the ticket, I'm going to, but I think I better call them and make sure I might have already paid it already. I better double check on that. I'm a little nervous. Not as nervous as I was a few minutes ago when I was driving around on empty and didn't have my wallet because I forgot my wallet.
That's a serious
problem.
Oh
my gosh, this experience. I was in my child's car and the little light came on. I was driving him to school and I was like, oh, no problem. I'll drop you off. I'll go to the gym and then I'll go get gas on the way home.
What?
Light comes on, you still have 20 miles. I have never run out of gas in my entire life. Ever. I've never run out of gas.
With that attitude, I'm surprised. The light comes on, you're already overdue. You should have gotten gas before that light came on. You don't go driving around doing your errands.
Normally, are these new pillows?
No, this is from Segunda's bat mitzvah.
Okay. Normally I agree with you, but I had 3 miles to drive to get to the gym and the gas station. So I'm like, no problem. The light's on, but it's still on 1/8 of a tank. I'm like, this is a 13-gallon tank. I have 1 point however many gallons left. No problem. I go to the gym, I get ready, I get back in the car, get ready to the gas station, look in my bag, no wallet. So now I got to get home and to the gas station without running out of gas. And let me tell you, this is not the place to drive.
Because you don't have money.
I got no money.
So you got to go home to
I got to get home. Even if I run out of gas, I can't call AAA. I got to walk home. So I'm a little nervous.
Very unlike you.
But it's very unlike me.
You, Larry.
So I make it home just as it's right on E.
Right,
run
now
upstairs.
the bells ringing. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, I run upstairs, get my wallet and the ticket that I found, and went, ooh. Get back in the car and think, okay, now I got to get to the nearest gas station without running out of gas. After the rush of getting home without running out of gas, I realized, oh, it's not over yet.
Officer, I was speeding because I was concerned I was going to run out of gas. So I had to get home as quickly as possible to get my wallet so I could get to the gas station to fill it up.
That would be if I was 16. Yeah. No, it'd probably be more like, officer, I was driving so slow because I'm coasting because I don't have any gas.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I finally make it there. I fill up the tank. And I am elated.
Right. Oh, that's a good feeling. That's like fresh underwear in the drawer, or
it's
clean
the best.
socks.
I'm elated, and I'm also thinking I probably could have gone a little farther.
Yeah,
I could have pushed it. Yep, just to see.
I should have pushed
that feeling. Oh, I'm so elated. So, anyways, he's Eric Goldbrenner.
I am. Always have been.
He has some new boots.
Yeah, when Discount Shoe Warehouse is good for the Jews.
Yeah, well. Unless your stereotype of Jews is that they're always looking for bargains, sure.
Yeah, well, everyone loves a bargain.
And they do love a bargain.
Not just the Jews, but I have observed that Gentiles buy retail and Jews buy wholesale.
This Jew actually buys retail a lot.
Well, but we've been through this in previous.
I know. I'm not very good at being that Jew. Myself, I'm dressed today like what I've been told a middle-aged dad wears when he goes out to see music.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, the black T-shirt. Well, you can't tell because I have this.
Pretty cool. I like the shoes.
Yeah. Well, I could go see some music right now.
Right. Yeah.
And I would be. Oh, there's that middle-aged dad.
Yeah, middle-aged San Francisco dad.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I just got back from Oregon, where it seemed like
what were you doing in Oregon?
Polyester
North Oregon. Oh, it's wonderful.
Columbia gear.
Yeah. What were you doing up there in Oregon? Bend?
We just went with I went with Poker Group. We'd saved up some money in a kitty.
Those guys that used to play poker with me, but kicked me out.
Yeah, well, I mean, they didn't realize they're going to clean you out in one game, and that was it.
Yeah, they didn't realize how
little
little
interest. They keep coming back for more and just feed us all.
I figured it was a good investment. I wanted to hang out with those guys, and it cost me, what, $40, $20, whatever you guys...
Well, we buy in for $40. No one told you you had to lose it all. I mean,
that was fine. I didn't mind. I
lost $20 all weekend.
Yeah, I didn't mind. I got to drink beer. I get to hang out. I got to hang out with guys I want to hang out with. I don't like poker.
Yeah, well,
it's one of the manly arts that I'm not. It's one of the manly arts I'm not good at. When you guys have a golf trip, let me know and I'll stink up the place.
They should have played golf. Those guys.
They should have been Bend.
And they should have brought their clubs.
They should have.
I don't golf, but instead, we went river rafting one day. We went fly fishing one day.
A bunch of Jews fly fishing.
Yeah.
How'd that go over? Was anyone adept?
Dale.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No names, please.
Right. How you
the real estate king.
Yeah, the real estate king. Yeah, he was good.
He had a lot of years being trained as a non-Jew.
I'll say this.
And
clearly fly fishing is in the blood. I think he got it from his dad.
He is definitely fluent in the manly arts.
Oh, he is all things physical. But yeah, those other guys aren't so bad. You know,
well, fly fishing it's got like this whole like literary angle to it,
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of got
it's not like going out in a pontoon boat with a 6-pack of Bud and just throwing your line over the side.
Yeah,
like Whitey does.
That seems like Louisiana type of thing. That's more of a southern.
Any sort of rural type of fishing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny. The guy who led us on the fly fishing expedition.
Oh, it was a guided tour.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't that we had a guy who brought all the gear and explained how to do it. I mean, he was very clear that he got his master's degree in whatever
fly fishing, fishing game, nature, wildlife, or something. Yeah, all right,
something like that.
I see that.
Which I was impressed. We keep meeting all the people we met. The river rafting guy too. They're all like sort of accomplished, educated people who have.
Well, it was Oregon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens in the Northwest.
Is it?
Oh yeah, these guys they go to school forever, and even California, like the guys working at the wineries. Just working out in the fields, all got their degree from San Luis Obispo, where I am a wanted man.
It's the same story in the wineries. You got all these guys who were engineers
who are basically farmers.
Farmer my butt, man.
Well educated.
The guys
farmers.
in the field are not the well educated.
But
ones.
some
Guys
of those,
in the field
they
are the same old
get
Mexican
their degree.
grape pickers. It's the guy who owns the winery and is working there in the tourist.
There are many ways, but I'm saying in the Northwest you will find that a lot of very well educated. Very outdoorsy. I'm going to devote my entire life to this. I mean, I know people up there who, I got my degree in this. Let's just start an organic farm instead. Yeah.
It's
cool.
a nice life they got up there.
Yeah.
I could not have standed one more day.
Really?
But
Too
it was
quiet?
really beautiful. Well, yeah.
As we have established, you have lived in or near San Francisco your entire life.
Right, and being out.
That'd be culture
in a place
shock.
With no tall buildings. And
no persistent hum of.
Yeah, no hum. Also no people of color.
No, not so many in Oregon.
Not that I require.
Not a ton of Jews either.
People of color to feel comfortable. It's just very obvious.
It's odd. Yeah.
Present.
Well, I remember moving back to California. After living in Seattle for 10 years. And Seattle has changed since. There's been a big migration of Africans who all work at the airport, it seems.
I've noticed that too.
So it has changed. But when we first moved back in 2000, I remember getting off the plane in Oakland and going, whoa, there's all these people who aren't white working with jobs. They're very visible.
What do you think that is with the Africans at the airport, though? Is it like they come here from Africa and they can't actually gain admittance to the country, and they're like
They're like the Tom Hanks.
They're stuck in the airport?
I'll bet it's either some guy started it, and then they I'm bring over my guys, and they bring over their guys, or there's some kind of program where that's the job,
Yeah, maybe it's
so
like
you get the work permit
clauses.
and you get that job, and there you are at the airport.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I once, during my brief aborted career as a high school teacher, I didn't student teach, but we had to observe at this one high school near the airport.
If you weren't teaching students, who were you teaching?
Student teaching is a step you take on your way to becoming an accredited teacher, where you take over a class. Right. So, because this was prior to that, we were just observing at this high school near the airport, and they said there's something like 97 dialects spoken there. Kids like 16-year-olds who were already married and had 4 kids,
Speaking different dialects.
Speaking different dialects, flowing robes, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was pretty crazy.
When I was in college, we had a good friend who's Nigerian, and he went to work at the airline.
He wasn't that guy telling me I won $8 million, is he?
No.
Okay.
No. This guy, this was such a decent guy. He came to our wedding and he wore all the African robes and the hat. And of course, all the Jewish ladies were, oh, it's wonderful. Look at you. You're so beautiful. And then we went to his wedding, and me and Jen, my wife, we were so excited. We're thinking, wow, what's an African wedding to be like?
Just like a regular old wedding?
He's Catholic.
You had to sit through a mass.
Right, which is cool.
But did he wear flowing robes to the mass?
No, but some of his friends, the lady friends, they wore some elaborate headgear.
Yeah.
I gotta say their headdress was really...
The
party was fantastic.
Yeah. Do Nigerian Catholics drink?
I don't recall much drinking going on.
Just crazy dancing and stuff?
Yeah, they dance. It's what I like is 8-year-old kid dancing with 6-year-old woman.
60-year-old woman.
Yeah, and I mean dancing, not sort of fox
not cute.
BS,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean shaking, pulling out some moves.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things I want to talk about today.
Yeah.
Why
you're here.
I want you to see something because I know you gave me crap last week for being unprepared. Check that out.
Oh, wow.
I highlighted stuff.
Larry produces
the J, of course.
It looks to me like an advert from Safeway.
No, that's the other side of it.
Oh, okay. Well, highlighted with... Are there notes? Is there annotations?
I didn't take notes. There was points I wanted to hit on. I don't want you to see the headline yet because I want to surprise you.
Look at you.
But meanwhile, I wanted to ask you if you had heard the hubbub surrounding Macklemore this week.
Yeah, I saw the picture of Macklemore with big Junos on and the wig and all that.
Isn't
the beard.
Okay, I'm going to show you the picture again here.
Yeah.
What are the odds that nobody in his entire group went, huh?
You're a Jew.
You look exactly like one of those editorial cartoons from the 1930s.
Right. You've got a Jew costume on your face. Yeah.
Maybe
they did, maybe they didn't.
Seriously? Because I'll tell you what.
Well,
this is an interesting. It puts me personally in an interesting spot because Macklemore, of course, is from Seattle, and Seattle people will defend their own to the death.
Right. Well.
And he's good, right? He's one of us. He's a good guy. He did
Macklemore, he's not one of us.
No, but he did
Macklemore?
Well, that's actually a name he took maybe from the Mariners' second baseman from the early '90s.
Name ain't Lipschitz. What's his real name?
Oh, I don't know, but he speaks in an affected Ebonics-like tone.
He's a rapper.
Right.
What's he gonna do?
He must have learned that somewhere. But he did the same love song, so everyone, he's great. He's anointed. He's on the checklist. Here's what he said when he finally apologized after saying, I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
I just like wearing crazy costumes. Right. He says, I acknowledge how the costume could, within a context of stereotyping, be ascribed to a Jewish caricature. I love that, that's about as soft as an apology as you're ever going to get.
Yeah, he's saying, okay, I see it.
That's basically, he's saying, if I offended anyone, I apologize. Instead of saying, you're right, boy, I screwed up.
Well, look, here's a white guy from the Pacific Northwest trying to make it in the world of hip-hop, singing rap music. His big hit is a rap song talking about how it's cool to be gay. He's got to re-earn his credibility.
No, you are absolutely
He's
wrong.
He's going to get his butt kicked, man.
No. You're...
So he comes out with the big Jew nose on and the big beard. Look at me, I'm a Jew. Ha-ha, make funny at the Jews. And all of a sudden, they're like, all right, we're going to let that gay thing slide.
You are absolutely wrong. His shtick is not mainstream rap. His shtick is he is a darling of the white left.
Really?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, the white left, like they're any friends of ours? I mean, the Jews.
I'm just saying that's how he makes his money. Do you think before he hit the stage, someone came and said, Mac, tell you what, take this and hand him like a bunch of fake money to throw out of his pockets? You know?
That'd be good. Right.
That would have been sweet.
Yeah. Let me tell you something about Macklemore with the big Junos and all that.
Yeah.
Maybe meant to be offensive, maybe didn't. But
stupid.
This Jew's got a thick skin. Maybe he's stupid. So what?
Oh, I'm not even offended. I just am now, here's what I'm actually offended by people telling me not to be offended, even though I'm not really offended.
See, and I'm not offended only because I'm bigger than that. I don't care.
I'm not.
You think that's the best you could do? You're trying to insult me? Okay, screw you, Macklemore. You know, it's like, you don't see black folks getting all up in arms every time some idiot comes
Ted Danson wears blackface?
Yeah,
Yes, they
I mean,
do.
some of them do, but most of them are like, that's the worst you could do? We're used to taking so much more shit.
I'm treating it more as an anthropological oddity. The two sides of it, the one side that he did it and is pretending like he didn't know what he was doing, and the other side that all the Twitter people in his camp are saying, how dare you be offended?
Yeah, well, we'll see where this goes.
I mean, that's pretty funny because these are generally the left is easily offended.
I think the left is full of a bunch of conformist bigots who have...
Well, actually, I should even say that there's such a thing as the left. You know, I
know who you mean.
Often consider myself part of it, but like everyone all of you embracing Macklemore, he's so open-minded, so wonderful that he embraces these things, except maybe Jews. But you really should just let that go. Yeah. I know why you let it go, because you're fierce.
Well, I'm not so fierce. It's just like, you got to pick your battles, man. I mean, it's like, you can't...
No, this isn't a battle.
This guy's, he's just a dumbass.
Right. This isn't a battle, but you gotta just, if you're gonna present this package, you gotta be the whole package, not part of the package. If I am the darling of the progressive left, and I am the rapper who is so progressive, and you can't just, come on, this is totally out of left field. Maybe he actually had no idea, and maybe he's like, cool, witch nose. Maybe it was more like, I know I've seen this image somewhere before, and it was kind of interesting. It'd be funny to do that. It reminds me of something from the 1930s, not making the connection, but there's no way nobody in his group can go, that's not a good look.
Yeah, no, I mean,
maybe they were afraid. Maybe he's a tyrant to his posse, and they're like, I can't say anything.
I don't know what the guy was thinking.
I don't either.
Really know the context, but I'll tell you this. I mean, I came to this conclusion a long, long time ago. What some movie star, pop star, or professional athlete has to say or think, I have absolutely zero interest in. Just because a guy can make a cool song and you dance to it doesn't mean he's got any particular insight or represents anyone.
What about musicians?
There's only 2 musicians in this world who I think have an opinion that's worth listening to.
Bob Dylan.
No.
Good.
John Lennon, who's dead.
Who's mad.
Because John Lennon was straight up and honest. And the first thing he'd tell you is, I'm an arsehole and I don't know what I'm talking about. Why are you listening to me?
That's true.
I'm just an everyman. I'm as bigoted as the next guy. I ain't perfect. Okay? And Pete Townsend, who essentially got the same thing. I believe, if Pete Townsend were to come out with a big Junos on. Oh, wait, he's... Pete Townsend were to come out with like big nose and a beard. I'd be like, Pete.
People wouldn't notice.
There's always, I always want to get.
What about
Pete
guys
into
like
the Jew club? It's so tempting, and he's just not Jewish. You keep thinking he is. He's got to be.
I have a friend like that. He just continues to not be Jewish, and I continue to be surprised by that.
Like, how can you not be Jewish? Don't guys like that after a while just sort of?
They become sort of adjacent Jews or semi-Semites. Like you just sort of expect them to be Jewish.
I heard the other day Mick Jones of the Clash is Jewish.
Correct.
That was a surprise.
Yes, on the short list.
Yeah, he's short.
Well, he's an entertainer. They're all short.
Yeah,
and if I had to do a Clash breakdown, and this is tough, I think I'd rather hang out with Mick Jones because I think he was.
I always liked Mick Jones.
And I love that Strummer, the son of a diplomat, was always like, let's live in a squat and screw the authorities. And Mick Jones like, I grew up poor. I wouldn't mind a little money.
Yeah, yeah. I think Joe Strummer was kind of the John Lennon of the Clash. I mean, he's definitely a complex person, a deep thinker and charismatic.
Do you think he would admit that he was a jerk?
I think it took him his whole career to come to terms
He
with the fact that he was a jerk.
Great music.
Oh, fuck, that guy rocked.
Oh, man.
Wait, you know what? Do you ever hear Streetcore, the Mescaleros record?
No, I should, but I never got into the Mescaleros.
That record, it came out after he died.
Yeah.
And there's songs on there that are just so moving to me because really I hear Joe Strummer as a man 55, 56 years old.
54 is all he made it to.
Right. You know, who made it to the greatest heights and then dropped to the lowest depths, sort of summarizing his whole life on this record.
Yeah.
And kind of saying, okay, you know, I've been around the block, I learned a few things.
It's like Warren Zevon singing Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Kind of like that sort
As he's dying.
Yeah.
Yep.
You get it.
That's a guy who defined himself
That's
in
why
how
I'm
he...
talking to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That guy, you know, I was never a Warren Zevon fan. I thought he was a little too LA 70s. But when he started dying, I started following him, and I read his book and stuff, and I watched him on Letterman that time, and I bought that last album, and he certainly defined himself by how he died.
Was he send lawyers guns and money?
Yeah. He was funny. I mean, he was pretty clever and funny and smart.
Baby.
Bad dad and a horrific drunk. Could you imagine being one of those guys? I know you don't drink anymore, but could you imagine being one of those guys? And maybe you were, but you hear these stories like, the show ended and we went to get a drink, and next thing I knew it was 4 days later and I woke up and I was on a plane.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Not me, man.
You know, I don't know if I have the bank account for that, but I certainly
I have an
imagine.
automatic shut-off valve, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
I'm not a blackout drunk. Never have been.
Yeah.
Never went, where am I? How'd I get here?
I did what?
Which is a good way to keep your clothes on.
Really?
Yeah.
You'll notice I don't have any tattoos.
That is true. So how'd you avoid that if you woke up 4 days later?
I never really liked that. No, I didn't wake up 4 days later.
It's a Jewish thing. We're not supposed to tattoo ourselves.
That's not my style.
I want to see if the boom mic picks up me unzipping. I've actually been wondering because the boom mic's picked up me wearing a nylon jacket. And now I'm going to unzip it, take it off, and reveal my dad out to see a band attire.
Well, nothing printed on the shirt.
No, just black.
Plain black tee.
Black t-shirt. I'm going out to see a band. Let's go. Who do you want to see? Let's go see James McMurtry, everyone.
Well, we ain't going to see Macklemore.
No, we're not going to see Macklemore. But you bring up a good point, and so I'm going to get to my main idea today. I got an article here out of RJ.
Yeah.
It's an ADL World Survey. The ADL, what is it? Anti-Defamation League. The headline is Anti-Semitic Views Defy Boundaries. So I'm not going to ask you the question I want to ask till I go through some of these stats, because I think these stats are weird.
Well, there's lies, there's damn lies, and then there's statistics. Yeah,
and as Charlie Brown said, tell your statistics to shut up. 9% said that more than 20% of all people are Jewish. Isn't that funny?
9% of the respondents to a survey believe 20% of the people in the world are Jews.
18%, the figure is larger than 10%.
Yeah, but think about it. 9% of the people, 9% of the people are just stupid. If you look at the bell curve, 80% are in the middle, 9% are on the stupid end, and 9% are on the smart end.
And when you figure, okay, so they say 53,000 people in 102 countries and territories were surveyed. Because when I first read the results of it, they must have been going to like the weirdest countries in the world. 74% of respondents say they never met a Jew.
It's a big world.
Especially if we're making up 20% of the population. How'd they never meet us?
Well, because we're all in New York City.
35% had never heard of the Holocaust.
Never heard of it.
Right.
Never heard of it.
Of those who had, roughly one-third said it's either a myth or greatly exaggerated. File this under not surprising. The most anti-Semitic region in the world is the Middle East and North Africa, with 74% harboring anti-Semitic views.
Well, they are enemies of Israel and the Jewish people.
So that's actually a pretty good number.
Well, it's not good at all. It's nothing good about it. And I will also point out that the people of those countries, they may be enemies of Israel. They also rounded up all their Jews and kicked them out. And all those Jews ended up in Israel. Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt.
How long ago was that?
1950s and 60s.
Okay.
When it was all part of their, reaction to colonialism and imperialism and becoming independent states.
You can rationalize anything. You really can. You can make you can tell any story. I remember a guy once, after 9/11, we were, his kid went to preschool with my kid, right?
Yeah.
He invited us over, and we're hanging out. And I think he had an English accent, but I think he might have grown up in Lebanon.
Uh-huh.
And halfway through we have dinner and we're hanging out, and then he just kind of offhandedly says, well, this is all your fault about 9/11. I was like, what?
What did I do?
And he runs into his room and he comes back with a sheaf of papers, emails and articles about why it's the Jews' fault. Oh. As if I'm,
And you.
Right,
it's
me.
your fault being the Jew.
Me personally.
So you have the conspiracy theory, and then you have the guilt by association.
Yeah.
That's bad for the Jews.
But I just love this, and here's my proof. Here's a bunch of, and I said, I certainly could, if I had the time, produce a sheaf of papers taller than that, explaining to you why you're wrong. But he wanted to argue and smoke cigars, and that's just, he obviously had me pegged wrong. He's like, this is great, let's argue and smoke cigars. Like, no, I think I'm going to go home now and see ya.
Right, how about you take your sheaf of papers and stick them up your ass?
I mean, not even that guy. I was just I think this
I'm that guy.
I was more passive aggressive. I was
how am I going to smoke a cigar when I've jammed it up your ass? You're not smoking anything. I'm going to burn your house down. That's the smoking.
I was more like, you know what? I'm gonna get out of here without you knowing what I think, and then you're never gonna see me again, and I'm gonna say bad things about you until I die.
Yeah, it's a losing proposition.
Right? There's no win. There is absolutely no win. Let me go on. The Arab country with the lowest level of anti-Semitic views is Morocco. What do you think it's at?
Lowest level?
Lowest.
I don't know. 60%?
80.
Woo! Well, yeah. If they could get it down to 60, it will mean still most of the people are anti-Semites.
I know. Most of them, still a majority. The least anti-Semitic country is Laos.
Laos.
Where that might have been among the 74% who said they'd never met a Jew.
Right. There's never really been a Jewish community in Laos, and any Jews that are there are probably business people, service
This is actually interesting, though, because Laos, 0.2% holds anti-Semitic views.
But let me tell you something. I like those Laotian people.
Yeah?
I think all the people
Laotian?
from the... Whatever.
Sorry, I'm a words guy.
Well, you say it however you want.
All right.
Did you not understand what I meant? Was context alone not enough?
The context was pretty strong, I gotta say.
You're not even correcting me, you're simply questioning me on something that does not matter?
Maybe I was sincerely questioning you. Is it pronounced Laotians or Laotians?
Well, you can Google it while I'm telling you that I like the Laotians, I like the Cambodians, I like the Vietnamese.
Yeah, Vietnam also 6% or lower. The Philippines also 6% or lower.
Delightful people, all of them, wonderful people. And not all of them, I mean, you got bastards everywhere, but, I like those people.
What do you think of this number? 9% of Americans anti-Semitic. Sound low to you?
Yeah, it sounds low, but,
14% of Canadians. Why is Canada higher?
Good, we're going to give Canada credit for anything? I mean, they got Montreal, they're French.
America's hat. 34% of respondents older than 65 were deemed anti-Semitic compared to 25% younger than 65.
That I find surprising, because I would think in America,
I know.
the youth would be much more anti-Semitic than the older generation who's like, we went
I
World
would
War
too.
II.
I would too. And here are an index of 11 statements that people agreed with. Jews talk too much about what happened to them in the Holocaust. Jews are more loyal to Israel than to the countries they live in. Jews think they are better than other people. Well, I mean,
Well,
Jews have too
much other people.
Yeah.
I mean, let's who are we talking about?
Jews have too much power in the international financial markets.
Oh, yeah, clearly.
I don't know. I'm still waiting for my cut. Jews have too much power in the business world. Again, waiting for my cut. Jews have too much control over global affairs.
Yeah, control.
This is the one I like. People hate Jews because of the way Jews behave.
Yeah. It's all that shuckling and jiving.
How do you break that down? What is it that we're doing that's so horrible? Is it that we're not good at sports?
Yeah, you convinced everyone to cut the ends of their penises off.
Ooh.
So you got to figure a lot of people are bitter about
that. Was our behavior.
A lot of people.
When I hear like they don't like the way Jews, I think of Woody Allen. That's what they don't like, right? Or is it that they think we're pushy? Is it they hate New York? Is that the thing? Is that the stereotype that they're going for here? Which one is it?
I think the opinion of Jews in the world, the most visible Jewish thing in the world is the state of Israel, and people look at how Israel as a nation conducts itself and the influence Israel has on the world stage, and then they look at Jewish characterizations in light of Israel, and they start to draw a conclusion about the Jewish people.
You think maybe? Which is, do you think that when they think that they picture us as hook-nosed, wearing beards and hats?
I think so.
Yeah, I think they might. Some might. Some rappers might. But I didn't have anything with our behavior. That was
that's what I'm saying. I think they think behavior. I think they're thinking that, the behavior of the State of Israel, militarism, the perception that there's this Jewish power establishment that's leading the U.S. into war, and that the industrial class is dominated by Jews. And
I don't think that's what that statement means. I think the other stuff means that. Okay. When they say control too much of the media, Jews are responsible for most of the world's wars. Jews don't. I think when they say behavior, I think they're talking about day-to-day tics and tendencies, and they're pushy. They keep arguing with me over money. They don't like sports. They're hairy.
This they don't like sports thing really
gets to me because I really like sports.
Right. Well, these are misconceptions. These are myths.
And I can see having grown up in a mostly non-Jewish world.
Yeah. Which is the world in which we all live.
Yeah, really. There were definitely behavior differences that I ironed out, but it wasn't easy. I mean, it took a long time to iron them out, but I did my best, boy. And here I am sitting with you.
Right.
Didn't work.
I tried to cultivate. Exactly. So you got to get some of that,
I know. Well,
that Yiddishkeit back.
Man. I think it'd be a happier me if I was able to not try to iron those things out. Here's the problem.
Take 2 rye bread, 2 pieces of rye bread.
They called me in the morning, yeah. Go to Wise and Sons, and have some matzah brie, which I hadn't had it since childhood.
That has nothing to do with being Jewish. That's just plain delicious.
It wasn't great matzah brie, but it was still matzah brie.
It's still matzah brie.
Oh my gosh, it was. I should leave you right now and go back and get some.
Yeah, I mean these things.
I would have to stand in line now.
This is the thing. You would think all the people who respond to these polls would go down and get like a bagel and lox with some cream cheese and forgive us for all of these perceived, misconducts. Because don't our contribution outweigh all these, mythological sins?
And maybe it's a sense of like, I can sit here and rail on Muslims.
Yeah, let's do that.
And rail on Arabs. Except that but one-on-one, the guys I know are great guys.
Yeah, they're like Americans.
I don't know.
They're people who basically left their countries of origin because they said, this sucks. I want to go to a place so my wife could drive a car.
I don't know about that.
My daughter could go to a school so I can decide I don't want to go to the mosque.
Yeah, I don't know about that. And frankly, I don't know how many of them are Muslim and how many are Christian. Yeah, I just know that there seems to be a difference between the idea of conceptualizing what a people is versus actually talking to people up front. Face to face.
Yeah, plus everything in context. I mean, you can be talking to a guy who's perfectly decent when you're,
And who knows what happens when you turn your back?
Well, who knows what happens when you put him back in his environment where he's surrounded by racists and bigots and anti-Semites. I mean, some people just go with the flow. They're not free thinkers. They don't stand on their own 2 feet. They're afraid to speak their mind.
But I don't want to be. I mean, if we say all Arab countries suck, that's not very free thinking either.
Well, no, that's just an observation. I'm not saying all Arab countries suck. I'm just saying all Arab governments suck.
Yeah, the governments seem to be in disarray, that's for sure.
People are people. All people are the same, man. All people are the same, right? So you'll have it here.
So you're a nurture guy. How people end up is a result of what happens to them when they're growing up. Because if everyone's the same,
it's nature. Human nature is what it is.
Right, but if you're saying if everyone's the same, then why do groups of people have such different goals? Then why is Sharia law an accepted thing in some countries? Why are we into guns and trucks and whatever we're supposed to be into? I mean, it's got to be what we were taught growing up, right?
Yeah, that's those are the societies.
We all started from the same point. Our societies teach us different stuff.
Well, no, we don't say. See, we're talking about 2 different things.
Okay.
I'm talking about human nature as the way we feel and the way we're programmed to behave, because it is our nature as human beings. Because human beings are basically fancy apes. Okay.
Apes with thumbs.
Apes have thumbs too.
Some of us are a little closer to apes than others because we're a little hairier.
Okay. So I'm not taking that hook. Right. I'm saying, I believe that human beings are essentially animals. Granted, we're thinking animals,
Yeah.
but we've evolved from the other animals. We have all the same base behaviors of the other animals. And it starts with territorialism, and that is a function of the need to procreate and to obtain adequate food for our survival.
So do you think without a stable government we all become tribalists?
No.
You think we're looking for a stable government?
I think tribalism is just one of the stages in social evolution. But, apes are tribalists.
Right.
So this is nothing. So this is what I'm saying. I'm saying we have an animal, we have a basic animal nature, but we're thinking people, and over millennia, we have evolved civilization.
But in the world, different regions have evolved at different rates.
Right, they have different types of civilizations. So I'm saying the human nature.
But maybe it's not evolution.
Same.
Maybe they just decided to go a different direction.
No, I'm talking about social evolution. I'm not talking about organic evolution. I'm saying social.
Yeah.
I'm saying the culture and the society and the government, the civilization they have in the Arab Muslim world, as a result of it's a whatever.
So you don't think it's a result of en masse people getting together going, you know what, I don't want to evolve to that point. Let's stay here.
Like a conscious decision by
like
all
the idea of like
society.
we want to return to the Caliph? Is that what they want to return to? 1100 year 1100? We liked it. Let's go back.
Right. I think there's personally what I believe is there is a minority of activists in the Muslim world who are driving that.
Oh, it's like San Francisco.
Right. And there is a majority of people who are so disempowered and frustrated by the current state of their rotten government that they give tacit approval to it. They go along with it.
It does seem
there's
like
no alternative.
Well, it does seem like if you make people poor and put them in lousy living conditions long enough, they'll just snap.
Or they'll give up.
Yeah, or
is
they'll
that what
give
you mean
up.
by snap? Snap is when you go postal, right?
One or the other.
Give up
actually,
is when you just say, fine, whatever, man. We had a revolution. You threw out the army. Yeah, I support that. You brought in the Muslim government. That's fine. What now? All the chicks have got to wear tents. Okay, I got to go to the mosque 5 times a day and pray.
That's
I
fine.
don't care.
I got nothing else.
But do I have a job? Are you going to feed me? Is there medicine? And then what happens is these Muslim governments can't supply the people with all those things, and the people get restless. The Muslim government say, well, we're going to resort to the exact same methods as the military government you had before. We're going to bash you over the head unless you do what we say. And that's what they're doing in Iran. That's what they did in Egypt.
So it's not born out of any sort of evil, which is something we could talk about at length, whether or not it exists. It's more of a sad pragmatism.
I don't know.
Like, I always think, like, when people... I know, me too. When people are protesting... And I don't know enough about this really to even say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. When people are protesting tuition hikes...
Yeah.
I'm like, what are they supposed to do, man? California's in a constant state of economic crisis. Stuff's going to cost more.
I don't think you can compare our political and social expression here to what goes on in a country like Iran.
That is true, because every time I see a picture of them going nuts, I go, holy cow, they're crazy.
Yeah, because, for all that everyone's complaints about the United States of America, let's face it, we live in a free society. We have participatory government. We vote for everything, man. You vote for the school board.
Right.
You vote for the commissioners. You vote for the insurance commissioner. You vote for your sheriff. You elect your police.
We did a heck of a job at that last time, didn't we?
You hate that guy.
I hate that guy.
What was his name?
Matt Gonzalez.
Oh, I thought it was Russ.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Not Matt Gonzalez. Ross
Mercurini.
Mercurini. I saw him
Do
actually...
I need to say the obvious? Mercurini.
I saw him walking down the street once dressed as a middle-aged father going to a concert.
You texted me that event. You told me he's wearing exactly what you're wearing now.
Not a good look for him.
Right.
Well, a little
looks
chubby.
Good on you.
Thank you.
You're looking good.
A little chubby. I work out and I do not beat my wife.
You can't.
Which he does.
I know your wife. Jesus.
Yeah, really. Can you imagine?
Your wife will you'll be crawling in here busted
God,
up.
could you imagine? Ooh.
Larry, what happened?
That would be horrible.
Well, I tried to beat my wife.
Give it a
she
shot.
Kicked my ass.
Yeah, well.
And then she narked on me to the L.A. San Luis Obispo police.
So they're going to take
Took my license.
Put me in a jail in Arroyo Grande.
What do you mean you drove around on empty? Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, that's true. It was a little reckless for me.
Why did I do that?
I don't... she's been gone. My wife, Sandra Bullock, is in Switzerland still. Have you been following her on Facebook?
I have.
She went to France and rode bikes.
Yeah.
She went to a Michelin star restaurant.
One-star restaurant, I saw that.
Yeah.
That was fancy.
She went
she can't eat that way with you.
I know, that's what I said. It would have been totally wasted on me. I'm like, can I just get some cheese?
Right. Oh, they have hella cheese
I know.
in France and
well, and
Switzerland.
did you see she posted that picture of that pretzel? When we went to Switzerland, the pretzel, it's like a sandwich, only the bread is a pretzel.
Ooh.
Yeah, oh boy.
Sounds good.
So good. Yeah, so she's gone. But meanwhile, back in the ADL World survey, you might have guessed, because I think these numbers are a little screwy, the ADL has been criticized over the years for overstating what qualifies as anti-Semitism. I like this part. With critics suggesting that some of the statements used to measure bias actually are more indicative of admiration toward the Jews.
Hey, this is an important
point. They run the banking system. I wish we could run the banking system.
A couple of weeks ago, maybe it was months, Pat Robertson, I believe, made a statement, on his program with something to the effect of...
Wait, he still has a TV show?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
700 Club, isn't that
I don't know. I thought he was marginalized to the point of bankruptcy. Ha! That was my phone. I just got a text.
That was cool.
Should I check and see who it's from? Let's see who's texting me.
Well, it can't be someone listening to this program.
Stop talking about... Oh, it's Kenny Mejia. Kenny says, sounds good.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it.
A little cryptic for the broadcast, but there you go.
Even I have no idea what he's talking
Kenny
about.
has been one of our 15 listeners, but I don't think he's still listening.
Ah, well.
I think he ran into some technical difficulties like most people. Except my
mom. We're going to work that out.
We are.
So, wait a second. Let me make this point. Pat Robertson makes a statement, and the statement's something to the effect of, you don't hear the Jews going around saying, "Oh, poor me." They're too busy, polishing diamonds, making $1 million.
Isn't that like when Reggie, what was his name, the football player who was like a saint?
Uh-huh.
And then he said something about, well, yeah, I love Asians. They can make a watch out of a spring. They can make a car out of a paperclip.
Yeah. You know what? That's what you call left-handed compliment.
That's a total left-handed compliment.
Right, and I don't mind that at all. I appreciate the shout-out.
And those blacks are so good at sports, boy. I wish I could run that fast.
You know what? It's the blacks got their own mishigas with the sports. You listen to what they have to say about sports. I mean, they got their own issues. Whatever. I don't equate the two. When someone basically wants to acknowledge the success of the Jewish people by pointing out how we've risen to high positions in industry based on merit, that you put us in a merit-based environment like the United States of America, we will succeed without capital, without resources. We will educate ourselves and succeed out of ingenuity and creativity like we did in Israel. I say, hey, thanks for the recognition.
I think you are the best friend of those people. Because I don't think that's necessarily what they're saying.
Well,
what they're saying
that's
is...
the point of the ADL thing, that sometimes we perceive as an insult what people
I
mean as a
know,
compliment.
but I think they're saying every time I open the newspaper... Okay, that's enough with the email or the text. Every time I open the newspaper, every time I open the arts and entertainment section, all I read about is Jews. That's what they're saying. They're not saying, how great that these Jews pulled themselves up by their bootstraps despite only being 5 feet 6 inches tall and became movie stars.
You know something?
Or executives behind the scenes.
We're making a product.
And there may be a little bit of why them, why not me.
No one's forcing anyone to buy that product. There's 1 million channels out there. People are free to make their own programming. There's nothing stopping anyone from creating whatever entertainment and programming they want. You got all the channels, you got the internet, you got self-distribution.
Sure. I'm just saying that when they say, yeah, Jews run all the banks, I don't think it's meant as a compliment.
Yeah, well, that's not true. I mean, that's just
patently untrue.
It's patently you look at the top 10 banks in the world, Citicorp and Sumitomo Bank and all these places. I mean, first of all, the biggest banks in the world aren't even American banks. And they don't have any Jews associated with them, The richest people in the world.
Well, it's a pretty tired and old stereotype that actually was born of, wasn't it because, was it during the Spanish Inquisition, whatever time when we were in a ghetto behind walls, and the only jobs we were allowed to get were financial jobs.
People phrase it that way. The way I see it is that Jews to a certain degree invented capitalism.
Wow, that's big.
Well, I mean, I look at it.
Where's that in the ADL survey?
Well, I just made that up. Now I'm going to try to support it and sound intelligent.
You have 90 seconds.
Popped into my head. No, I'm thinking like in the old.
Which is ironic since so many of us are communists.
We invented that too. This is my point. We're thinkers. We come up with ideas.
We are thinkers.
And when you come up with an idea, you invent something out of nothing. And then when you follow up and do hard work to realize that idea, you're inventing something. You're contributing something new and useful to the world. Right? Not everyone wants to buy it.
Okay.
That's fine. Don't buy it.
I think that is a very positive spin.
That's why I'm here.
All right.
That's why I'm here.
But my question today is not whether anti-Semitism is real. My question is...
Well, we know it's real.
Are polls like this good for the Jews? Do we really need it?
I think polls like this are good for the Jews. I think the ADL created this poll to support the Jewish position and Jewish concerns and to provide some real data that supports what our position is. Any Jew, it shouldn't be surprised by this. It just tells us.
No, but I think that's almost a problem. It's like, here's support for what I suspected all along.
Well, that's the flip side.
Right.
That's the flip side. If it would be much better if it was James Zogby, his Arab American Institute for Statistics, whatever they call him.
Like that would happen.
Yeah, James Zogby's Arab
Edward Said took some time away from throwing rocks at tanks.
No, James Zogby, he heads a polling
Yeah.
organization, and he's also the head of the Arab Americans. He's like probably leading Arab Americans.
I think it'd be cool if like Chip Wentworth III did this poll.
Who's that?
Just someone I made up. It's some waspy guy.
Yeah, well, I mean that's my point. If it was someone who was not associated with us who said it, then it would probably have more credibility with the doubters.
How much credibility do you think it has with the doubters? I don't think it has a lot. I think people see and go, there they go again.
Listen. Most people don't understand the basis of statistics at all, so they throw around numbers that are meaningless, and this could be the same thing. If you want to believe the numbers, first thing you have to do is examine the methodology and make sure. Well, and you could
definitely create questions that could give you whatever answer you want.
Well, that's right. That's why you have to understand the methodology. But they
I agree with you though.
53,000 people.
Yeah, in 102 countries. I agree with you though. If it wasn't coming from the ADL, it would have a different impact. Because the people, I'm sure,
matter.
Heck,
the messenger shouldn't matter.
If however many percent of the world is anti-Semitic, those people are going to go, well, of course, when they see this, they're going to go, well, duh. What do you think those people are going to say? Everyone's out to get them, right?
Yeah. Well, not the Laotians.
They probably 0.2%. There's like one guy. Oh yeah, I hate those Jews. God.
Here's what is important about it. We live at a cusp in history, a very important inflection point, something unprecedented. In the 1940s, the Nazis they led, and all of the Europeans joined them in a genocidal war to wipe us off the face of the earth. And they nearly succeeded.
I wonder what that meeting was like. You think they were just like, God, once and for all, let's just do it.
That's what it's final solution.
That's it. We've had it. Enough already.
Okay.
With that, we get the banks back. We get TV
succeeded.
back.
Right.
There was no TV.
They nearly succeeded. And then what happened was the people on Earth who resisted the Nazis and witnessed the Holocaust were so horrified by the degradation of humanity that people were
snapped
shocked.
too.
They snapped into a totally different frame of consciousness. They were shocked into
Was the snap like, whoa, they're people too?
No, the snap was, doesn't matter what you think. This is not how the human race is supposed to conduct itself.
Yeah.
World War II. 100 million people killed in World War II.
Right, the big one.
So forget about the Holocaust for a moment. Just think about the carnage. The fact that you had the Holocaust on top of it, dropping nuclear bombs on people, the rape in Nanking, horrible stuff. So my point here is that after that, there were generations that came after that who were committed to a new way of looking at civilization and new modes of behavior. And now, all those people are gone. And you got a new generation who knows not.
I was going to say, what? Oh, now it's Eric's turn to get a phone call there?
Yeah.
Important?
Call from Israel. My cousin. But
look at that. See, he's legit. Just to establish his street cred, he gets calls from Israel in the middle of the podcast. I was going to ask you to what you would ascribe what seems to me to be a growing collective amnesia regarding the Holocaust.
Well, this is what this poll reveals.
Right. Like a third, like, no, never happened.
First of all, it's no surprise that people don't believe it occurred. They know nothing of it, and they hate Jews in the Arab world, because in the Arab world, for the last 50 years, they've suppressed the Holocaust. Mahmoud Abbas, head of the Palestine Authority, wrote his PhD thesis on Holocaust denial, basically. He's denying doing scientific research that debunks the myth of the Holocaust.
I actually don't know. That's fine. I actually,
That's
whatever.
Fine.
No, I mean...
He's the man, he's trying to be ahead of
no,
state,
I know,
negotiating
but
peace
maybe it was
with
youthful indiscretion. I don't know.
No,
I
he
mean,
went to, you know where he got his degree?
The University of Hitler? Oh.
Soviet Union.
Oh.
Which was the last anti-Semitic regime on earth.
Until they kicked us out.
Who's supporting him now? Who's his number one supporter? Iran. The president of Iran launched an international conference of Holocaust deniers. So there's a global conspiracy to suppress the Holocaust and teach an alternate version of history.
Okay. Crazy Holocaust deniers.
Not crazy. Crazy like a fox.
What about the softer approach? Well, you know, it wasn't just the Jews.
This is true. It wasn't just the Jews.
But do you think people are using that to minimize it?
Because
I hear a lot of that. Yeah. That's a very San Francisco attitude.
Right.
You know, well, you know, it wasn't just the Jews.
No, it wasn't just the Jews. Hitler had defined classes of subhumans, which included the gypsies.
Yeah.
Right? Also, people he had political enemies, the communists. Also, he thought the Slavs were subhuman, above Jews, above gypsies, but also
not dogs.
subhumans.
Yeah, they didn't drink the blood of Christian children.
That's right. They were a little better. And then
so he just decided it was a great idea, and I'm going to take care of everyone.
No, but first of all, there's many things that were going on in the Holocaust. You had the whole racial superiority, which is complete bullshit. Racism is nonsense. Okay, the whole notion that you're genetically predetermined to be a subhuman or a higher human, or smart or weak or strong. You know, and you can tell those characteristics by looking at the color of someone's skin or the shape of their lips. That's just
it's taught.
Hogwash.
I know you're not part of this, but then how come Jewish men aren't good with tools?
We're good with tools.
I'm not good with tools.
I'm good with tools.
From a long line of guys not good with tools.
That's because you're not good with tools. I'm not good at sports. My dad was a professional athlete. Okay.
Seems like sports, a lot of Jewish guys averse to tools.
Well, you know, we are management.
I keep thinking of that.
You get kicked around all over the globe.
Oh, you think that's it? Just years
you learn to manage.
Like me looking at Grandparents' Day and saying, what happened to the tough Jewish guys? Here they all come. How come we're not tough?
Yeah, well.
Years of... And this woman said...
Plenty of tough Jews.
I was telling this... I was working the door with this other woman and she said, Jewish mothers. That was her response.
Jewish mothers?
Yes, that's why we're not tough.
Really? Jewish mothers are tough.
Amen.
Everybody wants
Mom,
a Jewish
you're
mom.
tough.
Who's more famous on earth than the Yiddish mama?
Well, now the Tiger Mom.
Nah, you think she's more famous than the Jewish mom?
Not yet, but she's gaining.
Well, you know what? The Jewish mom and the Tiger Mom
should have
sit down together. They play mahjong. They go have dim sum. They get along just fine.
Did your mom play mahjong as a kid?
No, my mom didn't play mahjong.
My mom, every week.
My grandma played mahjong.
Ah, man, what a great childhood memory! Running around stealing M&Ms out of the bowls. Like,
oh, yeah,
3 bam, 3 crack.
Bridge mix. Yeah, what all that mean?
I have no idea. And listening to the tiles, you know?
I love that.
They'd set up a table in the living room, you know. And I would like make dominoes out of them and stuff.
Right. We used to have my grandma and her lady friends play mahjong in one room. My grandpa and his gentleman friends all playing, gin rummy in the other room, smoking cigars. The ladies are eating bridge mix.
That's a great memory.
Not a single hair among the men.
Yeah.
Not a single naturally colored hair among the women.
I think my mom may have started playing mahjong again, and maybe with my grandmother, I want to say.
Jen got invited to a mahjong group.
That's awesome.
With some of the Brandeis, ladies. And some of them still play.
That's cool. Does Donna play? I imagine Donna would play.
I believe she does play.
Yeah, I could see that.
Of course, Jen is too busy running around the hospital, bringing new people into this world, making sure they're healthy and safe, caring for their mothers. Seems to me to be important.
That's her excuse?
In the hierarchy of things.
What kind of excuse is that?
She always is going off on these harebrained schemes.
I know, I miss her.
Yeah, well.
She's a very busy woman.
She misses you too, I'm sure.
I'm not very... Well, sometimes
I've
been busy. And the book fair, yeah, that was good times back there at the book fair.
That was a good thing.
There was not very much anti-Semitism present at that.
At the book fair?
Yeah.
Well, you still had those sort of Berkeley.
Well, there was anti-Israel bias.
What's the difference?
Oh, see now, if I had a learned guest here, that would open up a huge can of worms.
I'm learned.
No, I mean an opposing view learned guest.
I want an opposing view.
That's like a total.
That's my podcast.
That's a total hot button issue.
You want to keep me in the show or not?
Well, you do have the boom mic.
All right. So the ADL poll, I think we would agree that if it were a poll by some independent,
it'd be better for the Jews.
It'd be better for the Jews. But the fact is, the facts are the facts.
Do you think it's a good idea for us to check in now and then and just see where we stand like that?
I don't think we need to check in at all. I think we all know. Anyone who doesn't know is blind.
So it's not really necessary then?
No, it's necessary because this poll's not for us.
It's for everyone else?
It's for everyone else.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, or it's for the disenfranchised among us, the red diaper.
I'm not like those Jews.
And any Jew that's against Israel, is an idiot, and this poll is their wake-up call.
Yeah, maybe. Or they're just going to
say any Jew who's against Israel is an idiot?
And I was thinking of their response, which is probably based on the methodology. Well, those ADL polls, the ADL is really sensitive. That's their job, to be sensitive. And this poll is really slanted in a way that will make it seem like anybody's anti-Semitic.
You sit there and you call someone up in Laos. You say, you ever met a Jew? No. You know who the Jews are? I've heard of them. What have you heard? Don't they control the media, control all the banks? Aren't they always starting all the wars?
They're not very good with tools.
Are there? Aren't they a fifth of the people on Earth? Okay, if this is what people are thinking, you got a problem.
I love that 20%. It's like we're a shadow army.
Right.
Our presence is so huge.
But you know what this is?
Each of us counts for 20 people.
Each of us, at those numbers, considering that we are 0.1%.
Oh, each of us counts for 200 people.
We did like 2,000.
Nice.
Right. So, what this really means? This is what everyone knows. As a people, our stature and influence on this planet is hugely out of proportion to our numbers. Which probably makes people mad. And so people are saying, yeah, we're behind everything. Oh, yeah, we control all the wars. We control all the banks. We control all the media.
Mm-hmm.
All right, they think that we're this big, great, influential, monolithic people. The fact is we're not. And we can be wiped off the earth. They tried to wipe us off the earth and almost succeeded 70 years ago. And now you've got an alliance of the people who, in this poll, are the most anti-Semitic people on earth. They're denying that there was ever a genocide before. They're denying their role in that genocide and ethnic cleansing that occurred in their very own countries. And they're aligning and building weapons to do it again. So this poll's good for the Jews.
And they're lobbing those same accusations at Israel.
Yeah, the same accusations. Because that's what's called scapegoating. That's when they say, oh yeah, we're building nuclear weapons and rockets with the intent of wiping you off the face of the earth, and then we're going to blame you for ethnic cleansing, and we're going to call you genocidal.
That's what's really surprising me is how effective that strategy has been. How easy it is for people to accept that. Oh yeah, totally, ethnic cleansing. It's like South Africa.
It worked before.
Yeah, it's kind of spooky, man.
That's why it's worked time and time again.
I realized as you were saying that my whole purpose for this podcast is to explore one question.
Is it good for the Jews?
Why does everyone hate us?
I thought it was, is it good for the Jews?
Well, yeah, that's the real one. But
everyone doesn't hate us. I'll tell you, there's two types of people in the world.
Yeah, how many? 74% hate us, or however many.
It's true. A lot of them hate us.
60%,
most of them hate us. You said they all hate us. No, most of them hate us.
That's true. What do we do?
But you know what? There's no in between. You either love us or hate us.
But I remember asking that question at an event at our children's school, and it was a really nice event led by Chaim Heller, who, in my eyes, is a saint. And he released what he was saying, and they released doves and stuff. And I remember in fact, every event like that, I would come to the same conclusion at the end. Why does everybody hate us?
You know what? I think it's a valid question.
Do they really think we're conniving with the Macklemore nose and everything?
I think they do.
That's incredible, and not in a 1970s game variety show sort of way.
But this thing, this pathology, this human pathology called anti-Semitism has always existed. It's as old as civilization itself. You can trace it in a clear, unbroken line from today all the way back to the Assyrians, all the way back to Rome in ancient Greece.
Oh, because we killed Christ?
That's a chapter.
Yeah.
That's the Christian chapter. That's when it took on a religious dimension. Before Christianity,
what the heck,
anti-Semitism was purely nationalist, right? As the Romans were anti-Semitic. They invaded and destroyed Judea. They fought a 100-year war trying to subdue the Judeans. And then the Judean people were dispersed throughout the Roman Empire. And so they had a nationalist-based social issue, which they were anti-Semitic, And then the Roman Empire adopted Christianity, and they introduced the religious element to anti-Semitism. And then, in the time of Hitler, he came up with something entirely new, which is the racial dimension.
Yeah.
And then now, in the days of Israel, there's something new again, which is
political dimension.
Yeah, but still the same old anti-Semitism.
Interesting.
They're saying the same BS over and over, and they have the same objective, which is exile us from their countries, dispossess us, strip us of any political influence, kill us, and if there's any of us still remaining, assimilate us and dilute us as much as possible.
Ooh.
And I ain't doing it. I'd rather fight than switch.
Way to refer to a 1960s woman-focused cigarette commercial.
Really?
Yeah, Terryton.
Yeah,
rather fight than switch.
Right.
Yeah, remember she had a black eye?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wouldn't play today, would it?
No, I don't think so. But if you need any obscure pop culture reference from the 60s, 70s, or 80s, I'm your man.
Yeah, I've observed that. You're very good with
it. Won't slip past me. Well, shoot, we're out of time, and
that was a quickie.
Yeah, it was, and you got a little fired up there as usual, and I was huge as usual.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
What you gotta do.
I think ADL poll, good for the Jews, but could be better for the Jews.
If it didn't say ADL on it, it'd be
right.
Better
It could
for
be
the
better
Jews.
for the Jews.
Right.
That's all for this week. Mom, Sam, Kimmel from the Twighlight Lounge, which I forgot. No, I said that at the beginning. I forgot to thank Mom, Sam, and Kimmel. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, Kimmel. Don't say boom to the mic anymore because I had to cut that out because it was so loud.
It hurt your ears, didn't it?
It didn't even sound like a word. It sounded like an explosion.
I
don't want people to think that bad things are happening in the Twighlight Lounge.
Boom. I meant swoosh.
Yeah. And remember, Mom, you can always catch me on email when I'm not home at 10 o'clock on Sunday morning when you call at isitgoodforthejews@gmail.com. See you next week.